My name is Dylan Borland, a former 1N1 geospatial intelligence specialist for the United States Air Force in an active duty enlisted capacity from 2010 to 2013. I'm a federal whistleblower, having testified to both the ICIG and ARROW with direct firsthand knowledge of and experience with craft and technologies that are not ours and are reportedly operating without congressional oversight. Because of my direct knowledge of the reality of certain legacy UAP programs, my professional career was deliberately obstructed. During the summer of 2012, my team was on standby for weather and I returned to my barracks on base, and at approximately 0130, I saw an approximately 100-foot equilateral triangle take off from near the NASA hangar on the base.
And they counted between 35 and 40 infant and juvenile Bigfoot prints.
They kept getting run off at night by these big balls of light, these globe balls of light that would basically chase them out if they were there too late. And then one night he was there late, everybody else had left, and he could hear something walking around the dig area, and he could hear something following him. There were enormous wolf tracks that had followed him down. And what's really strange to begin with is there were no wolves back in the 70s, 80s. I mean, even now they're really rare in southern Utah. This wolf had followed him down to his car. It turned and started out through the sagebrush into the desert, and they followed it. It transformed into a barefoot human track and continued on to the desert.
What I can tell you right now is you're telling me things that you can't find on YouTube or you can't find on any books. You have to be a researcher in the field to know certain things that are not out there, and you're hitting all the things that are not out there. I can tell you right now, you're not crazy. And she goes, yeah, you're legit a generational abductee.
In the middle of the woods at the moment.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with the area. What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the back of my truck!
My name is Jeffrey Nusatelli. I'm a former military police officer with 16 years of active duty service in the U.S. Air Force. I'm here today because the American people have both the right and the responsibility to know the truth about unidentified aerial phenomenon. Between 2003 and 2005, 5 UAP incidents occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base. The incursions began on October 14, 2003, when Boeing contractors reported a massive glowing red square silently hovering over 2 missile defense sites. After several minutes, it drifted further east onto the base and vanished over the hills. When I arrived on scene, I talked to 5 shaken witnesses who described a massive triangular craft larger than a football field that hovered silently for about 45 seconds over their entry control point before shooting away at impossible speed.
So, the cheat plan is you get what you get.
Get what you get, you don't throw a fit.
That's right. We're back. We're back. Another episode. This is episode 4 of Echoes in the Dark. Hey, Sarah, how was your week?
It was awesome. How was yours? Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I think my delight this week was I went to go visit my parents. We kind of did like a birthday / Christmas thing because over Christmas I had norovirus and that was not pleasant. So I decided not to give everyone that gift for Christmas and stay home and lie in bed close to the bathroom. But so we did a little birthday thing and my mom got me a little birthday cake for my birthday and she put some candles on it and it was really nice because I haven't had that in probably a long time.
Nice.
So that was really cool. So I got a little birthday cake yesterday, which was nice. Yeah.
What kind?
It was vanilla with like this fudgy, chocolatey deliciousness. And she went and got me a gluten-free cake from the grocery store. So that was really
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a nice little surprise. And she even bought like this little happy birthday banner from the dollar store. It had like the glitter letters, you know. So I thought that was really cute.
Oh, Mom.
Yeah. And then I got to call my son. My son and I share the same birthday, and so we had our
right.
we had our little FaceTime birthday jam.
Very nice.
I have to say, the birthday when you actually can celebrate with your son. So I have a couple of pictures, you know, where we shared a cake and had our little birthday thing. So that's always good. So I miss him, but he's off doing early 20-year-old boy things like with his friends. So whatever.
Did he turn 23?
23.
Get out of here.
Yep.
He's like 17 at the most.
He's
That's wild.
Well, I can tell he looks like a little man now. His beard is like fully grown in now, and he looks like a man now. It's just so cool. It's like, oh, I raised you. Now. Yeah,
that's awesome.
No, he's a cutie. He's the greatest kid ever. I am so lucky to have my kids the way they're. They're just awesome.
You do have awesome kids.
They're just amazing. Well, so what happened? What was your delight this past week?
Oh my God. I went and took myself for sushi last night because I've worked so hard this week and worked so much. That's all I've been able to think about for like 2 weeks. So I went and had some sushi. And it was really nice just to sit and enjoy a meal instead of just like stuffing a Slim Jim into my face while I'm driving. But yeah, so that was the thing that really like got me going this week. Definitely.
That's awesome. And you know what's really funny is we're definitely on the same wavelength. I had sushi last night.
Nice. Sushi and barbecue.
And barbecue. Oh, that was my other delight, was that I came back from the gym and my parents had went and got like this big thing of Texas barbecue with brisket, and oh my gosh, I love me some Texas barbecue. And then we went into the conversation of, well, who has the best barbecue, you know? So I got the hot tip on like, apparently Luling, Texas has some of the best barbecue ever. They have these guys who've been running these, they call them pit masters. And apparently it's like in the family, you know, and they have like these old, you know, like I can only imagine like you go in there to like throw a piece of meat and there's like barbecue residue from like 40 years on the inside of the pit. So that's all flavor,
man.
Flavor. So now I have a place to go check out more barbecue. So
yeah, I'm
pretty excited.
Stay tuned for a barbecue update.
Stay tuned for barbecue. Maybe that's our ship we have to land this week, is like a giant barbecue thing with wheels.
Big Oscar Mayer wiener.
The wheel. Totally. Yeah. Wow. So we were talking a little bit before we started recording about our first camping with purpose expedition trip. And we're trying to decide where we're going to go. There will be some recording involved, and we want to upload it to YouTube so you guys can, you know, meet us a little bit more and check out. And I promise we will be silly. We're going to be serious, but we might be a little silly. It's okay.
You know it. We wouldn't be us if we weren't, though. So
Exactly. Speaking of silly, so the week before last, I watched The Legend of Boggy Creek. And so I decided this week to watch, which I loved. And I've seen it before, so I decided to watch it again, and it was great to watch it again. And then I decided to watch The Creature from Black Lake. Wow, is all I got to say. It was so bad. It's just like it was just it was like night and day. I think it's really important to watch these old videos. But wow, it was just such a lesson, because I think it was filmed in 1976, I think is what it was, or somewhere around there. It was a few years after The Legend of Boggy Creek. And I know it was kind of a spinoff, but just the way that they portray it, it was just a lesson in social dynamics and how much our culture has changed. And the way there was this server or waitress who worked in this restaurant, and the way that they portrayed her, it was just shocking. And I thought, is this what people thought of women back in the 70s? I found myself getting like, wow, I was kind of pissed off. Wow, look how far we've come, they portrayed her as this hysterical person that was not intelligent and not in control of her emotions. And it was really, really strange to watch a film producer portray a female character like that. So I kind of got pissed off at it, and I did watch it, but it was just kind of boring. It was weird. It was so different. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah.
It's just
we've come a long ways with that stuff, and then we went backwards. So that's where we're at.
Yeah. I think that was what I grabbed from it. Definitely was like, wow, look how far we've come in 50 years, with the way that we treat women, the way that we think about women, even in kind of a subject like, pop culture or early beginnings of Bigfoot research, because it's a pretty serious subject. And but I just thought the film producer didn't really do the subject a service by making it more about the social aspects. It wasn't really what I was hoping for, so I'm going to keep on watching some of the old films out there, because I think it's part of our history. And I might dive into some old ghosty shows, like rewatch like Amityville Horror too,
Amityville Horror, or I really like the Alfred Hitchcock stuff. Rear Window is so good. And then The Ghost in Mr. Chicken. Did you ever see that when you were a kid?
I think
The Bloody Piano. I mean, it's like that old classic stuff it's so interesting to go back and watch it, because there was a time when we would watch it now and laugh at it, but people used to watch that stuff and think it was like seriously scary.
Yeah. Alfred Hitchcock was, and in fact, it's interesting you mentioned Alfred Hitchcock, because I watched some documentary not too long ago. It might have been on Netflix, and they were talking about Alfred Hitchcock and I'm trying to think of the word that maybe the word that they use was, he was just a progressive visionary in film, like in the film industry. Like, he stepped out on so many limbs and stepped on so many toes, and also went into subject matter that was not appropriate at the time when he was filming. And he kind of, because of the stuff that he did, they were saying that he made the film industry and also a lot of social values like actually go down a different way because of some of the stuff that he put on film. So
Yeah,
that was interesting.
Yeah, he's a fascinating study. We should do an episode on him.
Oh, on Alfred Hitchcock. Oh, yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
that would be, yeah, because that's the cool thing about this is every subject we talk about, I think we learn so much, and our listeners are watching us learn, and hopefully we're inspiring them to like get answers. You know, it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was what was really cool about the Bigfoot conference that we went to. I mean, I left there with more questions than I had answers. And it really just, when we went there, it wasn't something that I was really terribly that into. And then when we left there, I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is something I want to know more about. And that's how, a good fascinations really stirred into action. And I think that some of the stuff that we'll talk about, people will be like, well, I've never heard of that before. And then it leads you down into a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I love rabbit holes.
I love rabbit holes. They're my
yeah. Oh, and I want to ask you on the record about your blog. So tell us about your blog.
So I started it years and years ago, but I've always loved writing. I've always been a writer, and I just decided the other night that was always one of the things that was a creative outlet for me with anything I was upset about or happy about, or I always liked to write. So I just decided to start that back up again. So
awesome.
Yeah, I sent it to my mom, and my mom's like, I'm going to burn everything that I've written. And she's like, you're such a good writer. And it's just such a compliment. My mom's a great writer. So kind of runs in the family, my grandma too. And like, you know how that goes, Oh, yeah. In your family too. So yeah, it's exciting. It's just nice to sit down and have that creativity going again. I haven't had that in a long time. So
yeah, it's a form of journaling for sure. And why shouldn't you share it? So we will put a link to your blog. And if there's a way, is there a way for people to sign up to get all your releases?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I'll have to look at it again. I hadn't been in there in, oh my gosh, years. So yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Cool. Yeah, we'll put a link. Well, it's going to be a few weeks before we put this episode up. So we will, by then, hopefully it will be up and running. Yeah. And then that mentions, and then I'll tell you about my blog. So I started publishing I think it was about 15 months ago on Medium. And the Medium blogging system, I think it's a system, I don't know what it is, but it really supports writers. And they have like a no AI tolerance policy, which I love because there's AI. That's a whole nother topic. Yeah. But Medium, I mean, you can write about AI and you can talk about how to use AI on Medium, but you cannot write a story created by AI. You can use AI to like create ideas, but then you have to write. They really want human beings to write. So that was one of the things I loved about Medium. And then I joined. And then so anyone can have a free account on Medium. But if you really want to support the writers, then you pay $50 a year. And then you are a premium member. And then every article that you publish is eligible for other people. When they read your premium articles, you get cents, like 5 cents, or based on how long they read, how many people read. I'm starting to see more subscribers on my Medium account. And the cool thing about it is the articles never go away, obviously, but you can still be earning money on your articles years down the road. And so it's kind of like that. It's a pretty cool system. So I would encourage anyone who's into blogging and writing that blogging is not dead. It's just evolved into a different way to create an income stream for yourself. So yeah, check out that. I don't know much about the other blogging platforms. I know there's other gated ones similar, but I just liked the no AI stuff that Medium is just really taking a staunch, like, nope, hard no, we're not allowing AI. We want to see real people writing. And I really liked that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's too easy to be able to plug something into AI and have it write it for you. And for me, like it takes away the whole entire purpose of writing. I don't understand what I mean, and you know, people are doing it. People are just being like, hey, write me a blog about this and this and this, and then posting it. And it's not like fair to those of us who actually go to the trouble to write our own content.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. So yeah, we'll post both of our blogs up. I just wanted to mention that. And then did you have any frights over the past week?
The people in Wichita don't know how to drive. I avoid probably like 5 or 6 accidents a day. I'm a really good driver. I'm a defensive driver. I'm always like prepared for whoever's around me to do the absolute stupidest thing they could possibly do. So it's just like every day it takes like 5 hours off of my life having to, have my heart jump into my throat. But otherwise, that's the scariest thing that I've experienced this week.
I will say that living where I live now, there are a lot of people driving like I don't understand why they drive like this. I'm the person in the right lane going 5 under. Like, it's just not worth it to me. I've been in many scary accidents and close calls, and it's just like it's not relevant to me. Just leave 5 minutes early, and it's not worth the stress. So I think I'm gonna second your voice on that. Like, hey, everybody, slow down. It's not worth it. I've seen some really, really bad accidents living where I live now temporarily, and wow. Let's keep us, arrive safe. There's my public service thing. Like, slow the hell down. Like, come on, man. It's not that important.
No. And don't put other people's lives at risk.
Exactly.
Because you want to drive fast. I mean, and here we have like every mile there's a stoplight. So you go, and the speed limit's 40. So you're not going to get there. You're just going to meet up with everybody else at the stoplight.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous. It's inconsiderate. I don't get it.
Totally. Yeah. So let's jump into our topics today. So we each have an article that we want to talk about. You want to go first this time?
I can go first. I don't have any one specific article. I actually compiled a whole bunch of stuff regarding, in honor of your birthday. I thought we could talk about the origin of Bigfoot.
Awesome.
Bigfoot's birthday, his gotcha day. Since birthday probably isn't a real relevant thing. But yeah, there are so many different accounts of what could actually be like the first sighting or recorded evidence. Some accounts, some people think that it goes as far back as 2100 BC. So it would be like back to the Epic of Gilgamesh, which I thought that was kind of cool. I studied that a little bit in ancient civilization when I was in college. And it's basically this, as the story goes, the goddess, where did it go? The goddess Ururu, she was the goddess who created mankind. And what happened was she basically pulled off a piece of clay and threw it into the wilderness. And out of the wilderness came a man who was covered in hair, and he tended to just spend his time with all of the animals. It says his strength is as mighty as the meteorite. He continually goes over to the mountains, jostles at the watering place with the animals. So basically, it's believed that might have been the very first mention of what would have been, a Sasquatch, Bigfoot. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And the translation of it's pretty loosely translated, but just from what it says, I mean, he ate grasses with the gazelles and jostled at the watering hole with the animals. A notorious trapper came face to face with him, and he was just scared to death of him. He was a huge man, and he didn't, communicate the other way, like the way that everyone else communicated. So to me, I would see that as being like something very similar anyway to a wild man of sorts. So that's a possibility. I think that it could go that far back. I also saw that pretty much like the first evidence, so to speak, would have been David Thompson. David Thompson was an explorer, English-British explorer. He was known for traveling a lot of like the Western Canadian Rockies and down through Columbia River. So it would have ended like Astoria, Oregon. Astoria is another place that would be really cool if we ever wanted to take a West Coast adventure. Astoria was the first settled colony basically in Oregon. So it was settled to be a fur trapping or fur trading post, but then people just eventually settled there permanently. So that would be something if we wanted to, we could go out there to do, Sasquatch, we could go out there to do paranormal. That would be a really good place to do both of those things. But for him though, his evidence was he found some really strange tracks. So the tracks that he found were four-toed and like 22 inches long. And so, and that was actually, I think, in British Columbia. So that was back in 1811. So it goes back that far. And then, of course, you've got your, in 1958, Humboldt Times posted published stories about big footprints found by loggers up in Humboldt. So like Northern California, it's just totally a squatchy area up there too. And then after that, you've got your 1967, the Patterson Gimlin film, which I think is probably the one that everybody would have seen the most of. So there are just so many different accounts. And then of course, from there beyond, we have all of these different sightings and all of these different casts and like so much evidence of it. So, but yeah, I think that Gilgamesh was probably the beginning of maybe where that would have started. And I like to.
That's fascinating. Yeah, that's fascinating. And if you look at David Paulides' book on the historical articles that are published, a lot of those, like Bigfoot wasn't a name until until Jerry Crew came up with, that article and all of that stuff that happened, and then up to the PG film. But yeah, Bigfoot wasn't a name until that article. Before then, it was wild man or giant or whatever. And, it's interesting that you mentioned the Epic of Gilgamesh, because one of the books I'm listening to as an audiobook, because I spend a lot of time driving around and audiobooks are such a great way. But I'm looking this up right now, but I've got it on Audible because it's such a long book. I tried to get it on Libby and I couldn't get it. But actually, I want to take that back. I'm actually found it on Spotify. And if anyone doesn't know, you can get audiobooks on Spotify now. And this one, I'm going to look it up here. It's called The Ancient Giants Who Ruled America: The Missing Skeletons and the Great Smithsonian Cover-Up by Richard J. Dewhurst. That is on Spotify if you have a premium account. I think it's about 11 hours. But I mean, there's a lot of history about that, about giants, and like, boy, that's a big rabbit hole.
Yeah, that was the problem I ran into about what to talk about. I'm like, we could go on for days talking about the first historical recollections, or I mean, it goes so far back to oral history, oral legend. It's really hard to pinpoint what would have been exactly like the first mention of it, but North American folklore and like there's so many early settler accounts mentioning a large hairy man, and it's like it's easy to go down a rabbit hole of like reading different entries from journals and things that people have written. I mean, it's undeniable to me that they exist at this point. I mean, it's it's been mentioned for this many years. How can you deny its existence?
Well, and since the late 1950s, there was this conception that, that was just in the Pacific Northwest. And then a lot of the other areas of the United States that are equally as forested and remote, like Area X in southeastern Oklahoma, Georgia, Maine, like we heard about last episode. And I did watch that episode, by the way. It was really great. And that's Small Town Monsters. I was going to say that's the episode you were talking about, Small Town Monsters. They put out, that's Seth Breedlove, and they've got teams. They put out a lot of really great content. Yeah, fascinating. But they do a great job on their films and documentaries. But yeah, there's so many areas in Texas. I mean, in NAWAC started, it was kind of a spinoff of the Texas Bigfoot Research Group or so. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm reading Michael May's book right now, but I haven't gotten too far into it, but it's pretty good. Excellent writing. But yeah, there's just so many different areas around the United States
and beyond.
yeah. And then Europe, and the Yowie in Australia, and the Orang Pendek in somewhere in Asia. I can't remember where that's at. But yeah, excellent.
Asia, Sumatra. Yeah.
So many different areas, and how could they all be bogus and, highly unlikely? Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. My kind of article that I wanted to go over that popped up on my feed this week was in the anthropology realm. And I thought it might be interesting to talk about this because it goes into the topic of the relic hominin theory. And any kind of article that talks about discovery in anthropology fascinates me because of the tie into Bigfoot and how it could be a relic hominin.
Mm-hmm.
So this article is called Anthropologists Discover 7 Million Year Old Walking Ape That Could Be the Earliest Human Ancestor. This was published, let's see. Oh, that can't be right. That's weird. It says it's published 2/1/2026. Well, it's clearly not February yet.
Well, it seems we have a time traveler on.
I don't know about that. It's probably just a pre-publish, but anyway, we're not going to go down the time travel thing. All right, so this article is by Marcus Donaldson. The findings are based on fossils unearthed more than 20 years ago. So this is just a review article, it sounds like, of a finding. So it says, anthropologists uncovered evidence of an ancient ape species that roamed Africa on 2 feet 7 million years ago, potentially rewriting the timeline of human evolution. Scientists at New York University have employed advanced 3D imaging techniques to examine fossils of what could be humanity's earliest ancestor. The research focused on the ape known as, and I cannot for the life of me pronounce this, and I'm not going to try. So it's the Anthropus chadensis. I have no idea. That was terrible. Whose remains were first unearthed in Chad's Urab Desert over 2 decades ago. It was found in Chad. By analyzing the shape and structure of leg and arm bones, the team found indicators suggesting this creature walked on 2 feet rather than moving about on all fours. If confirmed, this would establish this as the earliest known member of the human lineage, predating the previously recognized oldest bipedal ancestor, Ardipithecus, by approximately 2 million years. That's quite a big leap. So, before Ardipithecus. The investigation identified a distinctive bump on the thigh bone known as the femoral tubercle, which serves as the anchor point for the iliofemoral ligament, the body's largest and most powerful connective tissue essential for upright movement. So we're going into the anatomy and physiology of this too, which is fascinating. It's the attachment point for the largest and most powerful ligament in our bodies, said Dr. Scott Williams, associate professor at New York University and lead author. When we're seated, that ligament is loose, and when we stand, it tightens up. It prevents your torso from falling backwards or from side to side as you walk around. So it's a really important adaptation for bipedal walking. As far as I know, this has only been identified in bipedal hominins. So additional markers include a natural rotation in the femur, helping legs face forward, plus gluteal muscles resembling those found in early human ancestors. The fossils were originally recovered from the Urab Desert in 2001. With Professor Michael Brunet at the University of Poitiers leading the excavation team. So the skull proved so remarkably preserved that researchers gave it the nickname Tumai, which translates to hope of life in the local Dazaga language. Professor Brunet initially proposed that the species walked upright based on how it carried its head, declaring it the ancestor of all humankind. And then there's a picture of this fossil. And then it goes on to say that the species also displayed small canine teeth, a relatively flat facial structure characteristic suggesting closer ties to humans than to chimpanzees. And then a little bit more on the curved femur bones led some researchers to argue that this was likely a knuckle walker similar to modern gorillas, sparking a debate that has persisted for over 20 years. Despite the new findings, several scientists remain unconvinced by the conclusions. And then it says Dr. Maureen Cazenave at the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology described the evidence for upright walking as weak, noting that most results pointed to similarities with African great apes or extinct apes. She found the femoral tubercle unconvincing, adding that it is not directly related to upright walking and was very faint in a highly damaged region of the thigh bone. And then another devil's advocate, I guess, thought was that more work is needed to clarify whether walking on 2 feet was used to walk in the trees or to move on the ground, the latter of which is a defining feature of the human lineage. And then Dr. Scott Williams himself acknowledged the limitations. I think it's a case of too few fossils and too many researchers. How interesting that happens in science. But I think that, I think you have to be skeptical with this stuff. And I mean, like they said, they need more fossils to fill in the holes, the gaps of, because they're basically coming to these conclusions based on anatomy and how the muscles would work and move around the origin and insertion points of the bone. And so it was fascinating to me.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I want to send this to my daughter who's in med school and say, hey, tell me about the anatomy and physiology of this. What do you think? And it'd be interesting to hear. So we might do an update on that.
Oh, for sure.
I think as time goes on, we have so many people out researching as in archaeology, and when they find something and it can be corroborated, it's fascinating to see like the different perspectives. Like you had a group of people in this article that were saying, yeah, this is totally this, and then you have some naysayers that come in and say, well, I don't know, like but I think that's how science works, obviously we weren't there. So you have to piece it together. And I just find archaeology and anthropology so fascinating, and how even though this is a different topic, as we learn things about our human ancestors, we might find out more about Bigfoot, and being open to, hey, there's a possibility that at some point we may find one. And then all of the evidence that we're collecting now on other hominins we might be able to figure out, where did this thing branch off? Where in the family tree is this? Is it closer to in the hominid tree, or is it closer in the hominin tree, where humans are, where we branched off? And so that's the thing. We don't know. We are going to find out. We will. There are too many people walking around in the woods gathering evidence. And I was told by several researchers to keep going out there, looking for footprints, look for evidence, document everything, write it down. Just keep doing it. The cause for finding footprints is really important, because you can learn a lot about how behavior based on footprints.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I came across something yesterday that said that maybe their footprints were backwards to try to throw off trackers. Like their feet were on backwards to try to throw off trackers or something. Like it's so funny stuff
I've heard that too. I think that's complete nonsense. I'm just gonna say bullshit on that. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
It was funny though. That made me laugh.
People will say, I don't know.
The darndest things.
Yeah, people say the darndest things. Well, and so everybody knows I listen. I'm a pigeon on Bigfoot and Beyond, so I'm a lurker, and I listen to that podcast with Cliff and Bobo and Matt Pruitt every week. And one of the things that Cliff is harping on now, or I don't want to say harping, but really reiterating over and over, is that these tracks that are so big, like just the way that the foot placement falls, depending on the medium, the material that's underneath the soil, whether it's leaves or sand or muck or whatever it is, the foot slides. And so you might get a track that's 15 or 16 inches. That might be from a 13-inch foot, just because of the movement. And like, he strongly feels that these giant tracks are not really 20 inches or 22 inches, that it's just the media that's underneath them. They didn't know at the time, or, it just depends on, because the foot can slide
right
as it makes a track, or if it digs, then, what's really fascinating to me is the knuckle prints in the ground, or the toe prints in the ground where they're gripping. If you're going up a hill and they see just the toe prints, or just the knuckle print where they've put a hand down and a knuckle down as they're climbing. And so that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So I'm excited to get out in the field and look in ditches and up embankments and look for that sort of thing.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That actually made me think of the show I've been watching, Discovered by Disaster, on I think it's on Hulu, maybe on Prime. But it's basically what you're talking about, just things that are discovered, but it's discovered by, I don't know, by a tornado happens and rips something up, and you find a old skeleton underneath of a shed. But it's just really cool. Things like that, where things are torn apart, and by that you find Pompeii. So
right. Oh yeah,
it's a really good show. You look up to see where it's on, because I don't know what anything.
What is it called? What is it?
Discovered by Disaster.
Oh, okay.
And it is on Hulu.
Oh, okay. I heard that Hulu was closing down and being merged with Disney, I think.
Yep.
Discovered by Disaster.
They merged with Disney a while back, but it's kind of their Hulu itself, the app itself is going away completely, the platform.
So they're just gonna
they're merging it with Disney Plus.
They're migrating all of their catalog over to Disney.
Yep.
Interesting. There's too many apps out there anyway. I've been watching Tubi TV, you turned me onto that one. I'm like, oh, look at all this. Look at all these shows on here. I love these documentaries. Yeah.
Yeah, Tubi's awesome. I mean, almost everything's on Tubi.
That's so cool.
Pretty close to it.
There's some stuff on Tubi that you can't find anywhere else. Like these old documentaries that I'm watching on Tubi. Can't find them other places. You can find them other places, but Tubi's got a bunch of old stuff, which is kind of fun.
Yes, definitely.
My delight yesterday was I finally signed my mom up for Netflix. I'm like, just give me your phone, Mom. It was so fun.
Oh, nice.
Like, give me your credit card. How much does it cost? It's $8. You know, it's the price of a little bit more than a cappuccino. You know, like
Right.
you can afford it. It's okay. It's kind of funny, but that's okay. She's just cautious with her money, so we'll give her that. But yeah, so I was like, hey, give me your phone. And then she has that, you know, how iPhone, you have to have like your face ID. And I'm like, here, give me your face. I held her phone up to her face. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to get into your phone so I can get you signed up for Netflix. And then I set her up and I made her little icon and everything. And we gave her, you know, you can set your icon on Netflix. I gave her Daphne from Bridgerton. I'm like, okay, you're Daphne.
Nice.
That was funny. But I got her like all set up. Like, here, you can watch it on your phone now, and you can watch it on your TV. And I said, and you can watch it on the other TV. And she's like, well, I don't know how to set that up. I'm like, all right, it's okay. I'll set it up for you when I'm back, you know. But so she's finally got Netflix. She can't, because you can't share your Netflix anymore. They took away that option. So
I don't know about that. I don't pay for Netflix, but I watch it.
Well, I don't know how to make that work, but I mean, you know, if you get the one with ads, it's only $8, so you know,
yeah, it's not bad.
We all got away with a bunch of free stuff, free Netflix for a while, but we can't share.
Yeah,
they figured us out,
right?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And I just wanted to mention before we log off. So my little update is that I am doing personal training now, and so we're gonna have to record a little bit less today, but I'm gonna go get my butt kicked in the gym. Got an awesome trainer now, and pretty excited. But I wanted to say that we got the podcast on Patreon now, and you can find us on Patreon. Really seeing a lot of growth over the couple weeks that I've had it up. So go on over to Patreon, check it out. We're releasing these Echoes in the Dark episodes, just letting everybody check us out and really get excited about our nonsensical banter back and forth. But I think we have a purpose here. So we're going to do that for a while. And then we're going to put it on for members only on Patreon. Probably we're going to do it as the lowest price that we possibly can, but our hope is that we want to bring everyone really great content, but we want to let you see what we're all about first. So that's going to, so go check us out, but definitely check out Patreon. We're going to have some merch coming up, stickers. We're going to work on that. So we're really excited to do this as a collaborative effort together, and it's going to be really fun, and we just don't know where it's going to go, but hey, why not, right?
That's the fun in it.
Yeah, this is much more fun when you can do it with. It's pretty lonely out there trying to do it as one person, but when you have a community, it's so much more fun. Yeah, so yep. That's where we're at. So whoa, got like all these pop-up screens coming. If somebody could tell me how to make pop-up screens stop on your computer, that'd be great.
You know how to download a pop-up blocker.
Oh, I could do that. Oh, that'd be genius. That's on my list.
Google that shit.
Anything else you want to throw out there?
I did want to tell you that this week in history, Christopher Columbus thought he spotted some mermaids, but they were manatees. So,
Christopher, mermaids. We could do an episode on mermaids.
We could do an episode on mermaids, yeah. But it's actually pretty common for people to have spotted manatees and thought that they were mermaids because of their human-like eyes. So, yeah, but he was just an idiot. So
he was kind of, well, I mean, he did. Yeah, Christopher Columbus. Oh, man. That's a can of worms. Oh, man. All the pillaging and terrible that he did and we honored him for so long. We still have Columbus Day, which is a crock of shit. Sorry.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so
anyway.
bad.
Yeah, whole episode on the tragedies of that. I don't know how that we fit in that, but mermaids. Cool. The history of mermaids. I don't know. Who wants to hear about that? I want to hear about the history of mermaids.
Yeah. I kind of went down a rabbit hole on that, so started to kind of research it. There's a lot out there, so.
Oh, I love it. And we did sea creatures or a sea monster last week, so.
I never know where it's going to go. I love it.
I love it. Old monster stories are really cool. Like the history of old monsters, like where they came from and like, the lore. I guess it would be in the category of lore, right? Myth and lore.
Legends and lore.
I love it. Yeah. So how are we going to land this week? What kind of a ship?
How are we going to land this Oscar Mayer Wiener?
I think we're going to land the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck.
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck.
Have you?
I have multiple times. I don't know why. I think I'm a magnet for it. I think it's following me. It's following me. What does that mean? No, I've seen that thing like 3 times up in Colorado. It's nice. Like you're driving down a road. I saw it in Dillon one time. When I first moved to Colorado, I was living in Dillon and driving down the road, and there's the Oscar Mayer. I'm like, what is, there's a hot dog on wheels and somebody's driving it. Like, what?
Dream job.
Before the internet, so I couldn't look it up. Just had to trust the universe that this was a thing. And then I've also seen the Scooby-Doo van.
Very cool.
I've seen that a couple times. So let's hear it for all the people that decide, you know what? I don't want to just drive a van. I want to drive an off-the-charts weird van.
Mm-hmm.
Or a hot dog. I want to drive a hot dog. That's a life goal. I want to drive a hot dog.
Yeah, imagine doing a food courier service and pulling up in a hot dog. I mean,
I love hot dogs so much. I want to drive one.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's where we're leaving, folks. That's it.
Yep. Karen and Georgia would be proud of us for this ending.
I think so. Get out there and drive a weird vehicle, please.
Drive a wiener.
Drive a wiener. That's it. Hey, thanks for listening to another great episode. Be sure and like, share, or follow this podcast by leaving a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. If you have an experience you'd like to share, be sure and reach out to verbalecho@gmail.com. If you know someone who'd like to tell their story, please send them our way. I want to talk to them. No guardrails. Have a great week, friends. See you in the next episode.